Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to Hippo Cup 9 Winners Bracket Final. It is a rematch of a group stage match that may have been the best one of the entire group stage, so we're hoping for some fireworks once more as these two teams face off for a second time. It is dog breaking, it is CATBALL. The, I would say, definitive top two teams thus far in the tournament. They have been wiping out all comers, looking like by far the strongest two teams, and now we get to see them at the other end of the scaling spectrum, going from FC after FC in group stage to the expected extremely difficult finals pool. We're going to see what these guys' scaling is capable of today. I'm this one guy. Joining me for this final is going to be Hubba. Good morning, Hubba. Welcome to Dog Breaking versus CATBALL, the rematch.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. The closest any team has gotten to beating either of these two teams is 7-3, and I know there's been woes of unclose matches, but I feel like all those stomps have been leading up to this culmination here in this finals pool. I think this is about as close as we're going to get, going to see a match outside of like maybe Irishman matches where they have had 4 tiebreakers so far, but this could be a hoot. And leading into our banning stage, it's going to be really interesting because I think neither of these teams really want to play comfortable picks against each other.
Yeah, you know, we talked before the match a little bit about kind of expectations, and it does feel like both rosters are super well-rounded, and I think the more well-rounded you are, the more you want to play the edge cases of the pool to avoid those kind of toss-up, your no-mod ones and your DT2s of the world. And so I think, you know, kind of anticipating some out-there sorts of picks, and as you'd expect from a pool like this, you've got some out-there sort of maps to fill those niches. Quick bans, no mod 5 first from dog breaking, DT3 first from CATBALL, so you know, kind of already jumping into, you know, one of those kind of awkward, actually, DT maps, but it is a DT ban. And another DT ban is DT5. You called that one, I believe, the DT5 potential ban from dog breaking, so there's a solid prediction.
Yeah, something about, like, Pez and Ethan tricks on Kirby Mix style DT, you just do not want to touch. That is, they are very good at that style of aim control, so, the core duo of CATBALL, unfortunately not being able to play that one, as it's going to be back over to the side of CATBALL for their next ban. Given the DT3, DT3 is such an interesting ban. It's not high AR comfort, maybe it's snap aim discomfort. I'm really unsure about that one.
Yeah, maybe we'll be able to tell from whatever they banned second what the reasoning on the DT3 ban was, because I don't know that I really anticipated of the DTs, the 2 DT bans that we've seen so far. DT5 maybe, DT3 less so. Kind of expecting maybe like a DT2 or a DT4 as the more likely DT ban. So let's see where they go with the last ban here. Maybe we'll just ban a DT2 and have 3 DTs banned out and just leave ourselves everything else in the pool. Who knows?
Yeah, DT2 just seems likely because of all the tapping comfort on dog breaking. Like, I haven't ran through the numbers specifically, but I'm pretty sure out of the matches I watched, they just have not lost any tapping map in this. But no, they're going to be leaving that open. It's the HR4 ban. That one is going to be our slider tech-ish hard rock pick there. So getting rid of the slider tech for CATBALL. And I suppose that's the method, right? That DT3 as well, also pretty slider aim heavy. Well, just the high AR is just sort of a symptom of double time in comparison. So the tech maps they're leaving open all in that no mod pool instead.
Yeah, and I mean, there is plenty of tech and tech adjacent to be found in other parts of the pool. Also worth noting, of course, that Hard Rock 4 CS 7.8. So it also does bring in that kind of extreme precision element, second smallest circle size map in the pool. And really, like, are we thinking much about Free Mod 5? It's CS 10, it's also 13 seconds. Like, that isn't really a serious precision map. It's just, you know, it's Habib pooling Free Mod 5 in final stage. So maybe a little discomfort with the... Oh, I hate Spotify. Maybe a little discomfort with the smaller circle size, as well as it being that slider tech, but curious. First pick is going to be CATBALL. There's a lot of ways you can open this matchup, I think, for both these teams. So this could be any of a lot of maps here. The way that their team has been performing, I feel like you just say, what's Ethan Trix's best map? Because he's been the best performer of the entire week for multiple weeks in this tournament. The guy is on an absolute heater, and he's the player that I think I would most likely want to really ride in this match.
Yeah, I suppose it's something like the Nomad 5, where you have backup from Pez and Flames on the lower AR2, but it's going to be the Nomad 8 actually going into our 2B map and off rip. He can have borderline high velocity sliders, and this is a super curious one for me. I think this is a little more toss-up-y than maybe anticipated. Both of these teams very good at combo gaming. You think of like 2B map players, you think of Yokespie, member of Dogbreaking, and I'm sure he's going to be plenty confident on this one as well, so really interesting start.
I both love and hate this as a first pick, right? Because it is just the absolute epitome of like complete toss-up RNG Hippo Cup late stage pooling. So it's like, yeah, the toss-up, I will note, I was going through a couple of the maps this morning, just double-checking them in my client. I did happen to see that, of all people, RNG set the 7th best score on this map yesterday. So, you know, a little pool prep for our boy, perhaps getting ready for this one. Also, Stupid Dog, which is Kuromi, set the rank 21 play on this map within the last couple days. So it does seem like CATBALL maybe going for that that leaderboard intimidation factor.
Oh yeah, they've been doing that throughout the tournament. You look at the semis round with you click on any map in that like pool, you're gonna see Ethan top 3, guaranteed. It was very scary to go against him. It's been their bread and butter throughout this. They've just been practicing on the score V1, getting everybody to know they are one of the top dogs in this tournament. And the players you mentioned going to be in the lobby. It's going to be Stupid Dog RNG in alongside Ethan and Twilight in the 4th spot versus Yokespie, Dido, Nathan Ram, and Maxim. This has been the core 4 for the most part for this dog breaking team outside of Misha Awa, who plays a bulk of these maps. So,
well, let's see how things open up here. This is a fascinating first pick, to say the least, as we get right into it. I always think of this as a 2B map. I guess technically it's not. It's just unhittable sliders, which kind of make you think of 2B. And already it's just, what is Yokespie doing? Can we just say, what is Yokespie doing? Finally breaking, but he built them a lead, and that's actually map over. I don't know that you can come back from 200k, genuinely, on this map.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at, like, the play method on some of these players, specifically Yokes and Nathan, right? And it's just, like, the slider tick reading, right? I feel like you just plop on a skin with the biggest slider ticks possible and hope for the best. Right now, RNG matching that combo with a 170 there, but Nathan Ram is basically free at this point, getting this extra 200k up. Nobody else on the lobby except for those 2 players holding on, and that big windy slider there takes out RNG. It's just a Yokespie show, and this is exactly what I was worried about for this pick. Yokespie is absolutely loving these kinds of high slider aim. Oh my god, he almost hit that.
If he hits that pattern, the map is just done. We could just MP a board at halfway, like a quarter of the way through. Fortunately for CATBALL, he did break, but I mean, it's a 500k lead, and he did that. What was that, 300 something combo, which is just not something you're expected to sustain on this pick. But yeah, I mean, this has been like the Hippo Cup special, right? For as long as this tournament has kind of existed, there have been these just really bizarre world maps. And if you have one person who is the extreme combo gamer, which Yokespie has been, I mean, he's played in, I think he's played in every iteration of the tournament that he's been eligible for, which is all but like 1 or 2. You have somebody like that on your team, it's just such an incredible value, because the accuracy is obviously completely irrelevant, and he can combo through a lot of stuff that almost no one can. And you can see what that's done. It's 500k lead, and I really don't think that that's going to be able to be brought back, considering.
Yeah, I mean, for context, this has been played in one other match. Top score there at 600k. Yokes has already swamped that by 400k. RNG is able to match that currently, but we're only halfway through, and that is the equalizer. Every single time those super snap ult patterns shows up, everyone's combos falls, and there's no real way to build up and recover afterwards. So this 400k lead maintained and carried by Yokes and crew, and this, unless we see some massive heroics from either RNG or Bella, this is just going to be a very quick breakpoint.
Yeah, makes you wonder the first pick approach here. Now, granted, like, these are better scores from both teams than we've seen when this was played previously by a reasonable enough margin, but in terms of just the team versus team matchup here, this felt pretty questionable coming in, and man, I don't know. Yokespie is actually, there's a world where Yokespie, he doesn't 1v4 any of the teams that have played this before, but as you said, he's basically doubling the best score that anyone had set out of the 16 previous scores on the map. This is so just. What can you say other than giving the man his kudos up there in that top left corner?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you, like, the aim momentum on those sliders, like, you have to snap so fast, the precision requirement on those ticks as well. It's just, I could not fathom. But this is unreal. Getting 100 combo at the end? Like, what? 1.2 million end score for Yokes. That's unreal there. And that's to say, RNG, phenomenal on that 700k. But first pick here, this was the Yokespie show through and through.
And, as I mentioned, that's something that we have seen really over the course of Hippo Cup history is the Yokespie show. He's so good at the types of maps that Habib likes to pool in these really wild gimmick spots, and he provides so much value to his team year in, year out in this tournament. And man, those are the two best scores, of course, of the weekend by a pretty decent margin each. But 3 million team score for dogbreaking with 1.24 million just from Yokespie is oh man, gotta tip your cap, because without no fail, that's like a top 3 score on the map, I think, on the leaderboard. Yeah,
that 18 miss is less than double any of the miscounts on CATBALL. That's just unreal. Like, it's you double Yokespie's miss and add 10, and then you get RNG score. Like, that's the difference between these two. Phenomenal there for Yokes. A little bit of a showcase. But now it's back to dogbreaking's first pick, and I feel like they've leaned towards the mechanics so often here. They maybe excluding a group stage map, have not lost any tapping picks. I foresee them picking something like the Fremont 3 Goofball or some DT2, just the raw stamina of that pick. 4 minutes and 30 seconds of minus 45 DT. It's the kind of map that Maxim and crew just love. So I could see them really going into any of those.
Yeah, I think this is the only match of the 4 this weekend where DT2 was left up. It was banned in the other 3, so I really do anticipate it being picked, because that's the type of like super binary map that is. Like, if you leave it up, it is so you can play it. So I really anticipate that getting played here. And yeah, as mentioned, the free mod 3, another one. But hey, there you go. It's just instant. It's just first pick DT2. This is there you go. Exactly as said. You leave this up because you want to play it. You don't leave this up as like a carrot dangling. You leave this up because you want to go into it. And this is scary stuff. As you said, dogbreaking, such a good tapping team. over the entire course of this tournament, and just gonna look to show that off yet again here.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the tapping specialist there. You have Amacetic, who like has been one of the sleeper best tapping players in 3-digit for since I started playing in 2020. Like that has just been a name that has been a consistent. And then you have Maxim, phenomenal stamina there. Misha Awa, a player to look out for in Origin, hopping in and really enjoying these later stages. Mostly known for his skill cap, gonna be hopping in for this one. But surprisingly enough, Aheo taking place of Misha on this one makes plenty of sense as well. Really solid raw stamina player for this style of map.
I do want to say, for their part, it's not like CATBALL sucks as a team at tapping mechanics, right? You've got Toki on that side, you've got Pez on that side, question mark Batball on that side. I don't know that am I just unaware?
I
don't usually think of him as a tapping player.
I don't think of him as a stamina player. He's really good at like high BPM DT bursts and that kind of like finger control realm. He is a question mark here, but I think that's just like roster depth issue down low. Like
I think of Batball more as like a comma type of tapping player than like a Maxim or a Toki type of tapping player.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose we will see. This is 225 BPM, so it isn't particularly fast. As you don't expect a minus 45 DT to be particularly fast. It's just stamina. What is this, like 4K combo or something ridiculous like that? I mean, you're just tapping forever, and you get to forever, and then you keep going. I can never remember off the top of my head. There's like one map that's just infamous for having that's a DT pick. That's like Phantasm something or other is a diff name.
Yeah, Charismatic Phantasm
or
something like that.
Yeah, you know the map I'm talking about at least. That sort of vibe. You're just tapping for the rest of your life. I mean, look at we're like 30 seconds in and it's already 9 mil like team scores. This is nuts. Also Toki 85 AC.
Toki mode. it's ASP1 tournament. Toki's where he belongs. But yeah, the only difference really in these scores is just that accuracy looking pretty solid elsewhere. 99s on both Pez and Flames on this one as advertised. Maxim 99.5, but it's gonna be all up to this first break because with how dense this map is, 3400 on the FC, and that's a big triple break, and now you're gonna start to see the ballooning already just in that quick couple seconds. It's a 3 million score lead and growing, and the stamina is hidden for these players. Batball Flames having a rough go of it here, and we were wondering about the consistency presented, but that break from Aheo gonna be opening things up just a little bit.
Yeah, and now you can really see like the couple of players who are super comfortable with this compared to others. Like looking at Amacetic, looking at Maxim, looking at Pez as near 99.5 AC on Maxim. Like he's absolutely chilling, and then high 98s on Amacetic and Pez. Flamesteer on pretty decent. How do you miss there? Okay, well, that is probably the map over. Even with Toki still holding, you've got a double FC and dog breaking, and they're about to have a lead of like 40 million score in the next 10 seconds if those two hold.
Yeah, and the shocking thing is we just hit the halfway point. Like, Maxim with that break, okay, it's a little open, but like this is well over a 20 million square lead. Amacetic is doing crazy things, and Toki, unfortunately, at 90. Look at the score difference. It's actually not too shabby. I mean, it's like a 2 million score difference from Amacetic and Toki, but you have to wonder with the hidden mod applied as well. Maybe a better comparison would be Maxim, but pretty open. It would take an Amacetic break at this point, and Toki would have to FC the rest of the map. It's the only way, and it has to happen real soon.
Yeah, that score, I mean, the score gets gargantuan. I mean, the amount of score you're going to be getting per circle is just humongous at this stage. But when you have an FC being matched, it just doesn't really matter how big the combo gets and how big the individual scores get. If somebody on the other side has the same, it's like strictly doable, but Amacetic just looking so comfortable that it feels less doable by the second for CATBALL. But I'm gonna just say, like, shoutouts Toki, dude. I don't know, 88 Ack Hidden FC, still holding through this far. I mean, this is a very, very Toki score. It's a shame that, you know, it is looking like it's not gonna matter, but that's a really funny score to see. I'm Ascetic on the other side though, just doing his thing, and there. Okay, wait a second.
Wait,
no. Okay, one player with 3,000 combo. This is actually doable. Oh, the shake. Oh, goodbye.
Oh, no.
Oh, the shake. Oh, my God.
Okay, in theory, there would have been enough. There was 700 combo remaining from that Ascetic break. But unfortunately, that shake was a little too gnarly. And, I mean, the score is still advantage CATBALL, right? You have Pez and Flames on combo advantage here, but it's just not going to be enough. There's not enough time here. And with that 10 million buffer, it's dog breaking. Phenomenal stuff from Ascetic, holding the line.
Man, what a map. The one time we get to see this, and that's what we get out of it. I mean, it ended up being 12 million, which on a map that has that much combo is actually pretty close, I feel. It's just the Toki had a localized earthquake, unfortunately. And can we just mention real quick the Ascetic accuracy? 98.48 in tournament setting on that. Like, maintaining the accuracy on those streams, the stamina requirement in that map is really, really impressive.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal score from Ascetic there on the raw stamina. Back over to CATBALL though, and I think the play here has got to be some of the aim control in that Nomad pool. I'm thinking something like that Nomad 3, the Golden Dream. I just think they have like a control and alt advantage that they could capitalize on. Maybe something like the Free Mod 4 even. Free Mod 1 also a good shout with the stat line there. You have a lot of solid Hard Rock preference players and players cozy on the AR8. Conrad Minton could hop in for that one. I don't know. There's a lot of options here for CATBALL in the gimmick and control realm.
Yeah, definitely choices. There's a big benefit to being a team constructed the way really both of these teams are for this tournament, because you give yourself a lot of opportunities in the pools the way these pools are generally speaking constructed. And, you know, it's evidenced by just the number of suggestions that you have here for maps that they could pick that would feel pretty decent. I kind of just want to see, like, one of those free mods, either the free mod 1 or the free mod 4. I feel like those, on paper, to me, look like pretty good picks for them. But, wow, they're going to go completely elsewhere. They're going to go... that's funny. Ascetic was the most recent message before that, 2 minutes prior, saying aim map, and then they promptly pick Nomad 1.
Yeah, that was not an analysis. That was a prediction.
Yeah, it was clearly... He wasn't talking about the map. He was talking about what they're going to pick next. So, this is... It's triangle jumps, but it also has, like, the Ki, like, kick slider jump thing going on, so it's a little more awkward than some, you know, just plain Nomad ones, which is more akin to, like, the Hard Rock one here that's just raw aim. This has a little bit of that jank thrown in.
Yeah, and, like, you have to wonder about the roster here, right? Like, Pez, of course, phenomenal aim specialist at this SR. Like, Flames, Ethan, +1, maybe a Twilight vibe? Like, I'm unsure who they put in fourth here for this roster.
Well...
Oh, RNG. Wait,
RNG? Yeah. RNG. Okay. Yeah, I think you legit, like, as it's listed on the sheet here, it's just the top 4 players. It's just Flames, Pez, RNG, Ethan. I mean, that's just the aim roster, I think, for them. This is pretty fast too, right? It's 158 BPM, but it's like the whatever you call the music theory. It's double that or 1.5 times that or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 230-ish.
Yeah. It does have like marginal amounts of like quick triples and just kind of quick snap aim, and then the kick slider jumps as mentioned are at kind of that high velocity, but I don't think anybody's gonna be uncomfortable with it. Dog breaking, Ahio GNX, Origin, and Yokes high question mark. A map with no Misha Awa and a map with no Nathan Ram either is, well, 2 maps in a row like that, actually, right? I mean, the DT2 wasn't surprising. For this, I think it's a little more surprising to me not have either of those guys in, but they are comfortable with who they have, and, you know, it's a best of 15. We got a lot of maps to go, but you really want to avoid dropping those couple early breakpoints no matter the best of. It just does not feel good to be stuck playing from behind to that degree. So CATBALL really got to settle into the match here and start finding maps that they're comfortable on with this second pick.
Yeah, I am also curious about the lack of Misha, but I am not one to doubt Yokespy's aim after Nomad 8. So we'll see how it goes here. Through early breaks, early days for Aheo and Dido. Flames only won 2 matches, so pretty solid advantage CATBALL here, and especially with how short this map is. I think FC on this one, it hovers maybe around 800 combo, so not a lot of density, but RNG breaking a little closer towards the quarter mark is going to be assisting Origin on just that Soul 100.
And of course, instantly Origin breaks, followed by Yokespy, but it's traded with Pez, so the FC on Ethan, the only one left in the lobby. Flames here backing him up. GNX and Aheo on solid combo. Nope, Aheo gets, I think that was a slider break on that longer back and forth slider. GNX follows immediately thereafter, and that's really good for CATBALL. Halfway with Ethan on the FC, Flames here on the big backing support combo. They should be able to take a decent lead here, but now it's just Ethan. It's just Ethan.
That is an egregious Excel pattern. Oh my god. Dude, I mean, it's just Ethan. I feel like this is unreal spacing too. The triple's not striking him out. Some of these kick sliders are really dicey here with some of the slider velocities, aiming the heads. That is a full cross-screen vertical pattern, and he hit the square. Cool, man. You got it.
Yeah.
PFCs, that's...
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Second to last big aim pattern there, basically. Caught him out. So what I was saying before we got into this was, you know, if you're CATBALL, just find the Ethan maps and play the Ethan maps. And that is an example of why, because he just set that score top in the lobby by 5 million and was most of their margin of victory. So I think there might be something to the whole strategic approach to this match for CATBALL. The tricks. The tricks. That was what CATBALL needed, though, right? Really don't want to go down that quick 3-0 double breakpoint. Really want to find a map that feels super comfortable for your team and that you can kind of put your foot down and be like, no, we are here for a reason. We are a very, very good team. We have arguably the best player in the tournament, and we're going to show that off.
Yeah, great stuff there for the comeback pick, of course. That Nomad 8, just, again, another one-player difference kind of map. We're at that stage where that's going to be the vibe for a lot of these. And with the dog breaking winning that DT2, I'm not sure if I lean DT4 because that turns into the kind of map Ethan can fill for because he has his beautiful hidden mod. It has to be mechanics though, right? Maybe a high HR of some sort. HR3 still available.
Hard Rock 3 is an option. Free Mod 3 also an option, right? Tapping free mod pick. It's gonna be the DT4. So 291, the very, very high BPM, bursty kind of older style. This is kind of like just a faster version of what you might expect out of a DT1, I feel, right? It's got burst, it's got aim, little heavier on the tapping maybe than the aim, but again, as you expected, right? The mechanics pick from dog breaking.
Yeah, roster here. This is gonna be like, I don't know. You have a lot of high BPM specialists on dog breaking, but I think this DT1 style of map is really just preferential for players like Pez and whatnot. I believe they're screenshot farming right now, though, with this roster in.
Yeah, they're lobby sitting. They're lobby sitting for sure. I think you just... I mean, we could see almost the same roster as on DT2, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe, you have Misha Awa in place of, like, maybe Ahio? But I would expect, a lot of the same. You got Flames here, you've got Toki, you'll probably have Pez. Yeah, it's actually just 7 out of the same 8 players with Misha Awa in place of Origin from DT2.
And this is slightly beneficial for CATBALL because this is exactly the kind of map we were talking about BatBall being known for in double time pools. Like, super high BPM bursts and not a ton of stamina here. Like, kind of high AR. Can read this just fine. Like, this is more of a BatBall map, so they'll be having that extra benefit there. But again, you're going against Misha Awa, Amasetic Ayo, and Maxim on a raw speed pick. Like, it's always going to be scary tidings here, so could be a bit closer. And already you're starting to see maybe a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of hiccups here. Misha Awa with some note lock on those initial notes, but not going to be too big of a deal. 2 minutes and 30 in length here for Caramel Heaven. One of those iconic O songs, and that trade from BatBall can be keeping things pretty solid and even.
Need somebody to pool the Yui Konu version in a DT pool. There goes Flamesteer as well. So 2 FCs down. Pez to follow up, as well as a Bancho second break from BatBall. But it's traded. It's Misha Awa and Maxim. That comfort level, as you said, maybe just a tad bit of a concern for Misha Awa. I'm less concerned about the comfort for Maxim comparing their accuracies, but did fall. I think on a little aim pattern. So 2v2 on the board, but back in combo a little bit higher for CATBALL, right? We're watching Amasetic Ahio versus Toki and Pez. And again, like, it's players you just anticipate being at the peak of comfort in this lobby on this map who are running it. And it's now advantage CATBALL as Misha Awa finds another break. BatBall to trade shortly thereafter. But again, not going to be the end of the world. See what kind of lead CATBALL can bring, and it's not going to be any as Toki and BatBall go down. Lead's going to go back over to dogbreaking.
Yeah, the break from Misha isn't helping things, but it is 2 FCs to 1, and make it just 1 with that break from Flame. I was going to say 1.5, but Pez doing his best to hold the line here, but this double FC from Ahio and Amasetic is doing wonders on that right row. Unfortunately, Amasetic's a break. It could still go back their way if Ahio finds some misaim, but unfortunately it was perfectly timed with Pez, and now there's no combo advantage anywhere. Misha and Toki top in the lobby, but that's only going to be beneficial to dogbreaking, who already hold that lead. Still, very close on these mechanics picks.
Yeah, I mean, given the length comparison, this is, like, similarly close to DT2, realistically. But it's going to be dogbreaking just kind of pulling the train into the station with a little bit more comfort, right, in the last last quarter of the map. Combo on all 4 members. Amasetic the late break, but just did not have the competition to CATBALL, though. There was a full reset from dogbreaking at the very end there. If CATBALL had like another combo on the board, that could have gotten very spicy in those last moments. Unfortunately, did not have a second combo. We're not able to pull back any more of that lead. And I mean, it's 4 million, right? It's another close one, but that's 2 relatively, for the type of map, 2 relatively close wins for dogbreaking on their opening 2 picks, and they're going to maintain their advantage. They're going to keep the breakpoint in pocket, and they've still got some more mechanics picks in this pool. They're 2 for 2. Might as well keep it going throughout the match until they run out. That just keep returning to that well for as long as they can, and continue asking these questions of CATBALL of what are you going to pick, and they're just going to go back to aim. All right, do we have a strategy? Dogbreaking is going to pick tapping, CATBALL is going to pick aim. We're going to actually play basic mechanics in a matchup where I really anticipate us to, especially after the opening Nomad 8, to pick anything but mechanics.
Yeah, this is shocking. And also, this is, like, I don't know, this is a big boon to CATBALL with their Hard Rock roster being their aim roster, right? RNG, Pez, Flamesteer, all players who are going to be phenomenal on this. Curiously enough, Ethan Hard Rock is a little bit of a question mark in comparison to that Nomad 1. And that Nomad 1, like, he was the pure reason why they won that pick. That 7 million score was unreal. So it's going to be the question of who takes up fourth here. Maybe somebody like Stupid Dog Bella in that fourth could be a solid pull, but AIM being the play for CATBALL early. And maybe that was the reason why they picked that No Mod 8 too, right? Because that's really just an AIM map with extra steps, but way harder skill cap.
An AIM map disguised as just the slider jank of all time, right? The thing that I'm going back to about that analysis is just, I think if I'm CATBALL, I don't want to pick stuff that Ethantrix isn't in for. And as you said, this is something that is an AIM map that Ethantrix isn't in for. Because this is, I don't think at least, maybe he's coming in. Nope, yeah. He feels like such a win con for them, and maybe I'm underestimating remaining members of their roster. Maybe I'm overestimating what dogbreaking can do on a more traditional AIM pick that they don't have to face, you know, top score in the lobby by 5 million on the other team on. But I'm going to be interested to see what the AIM roster looks like on the Hard Rock here on a much more straightforward, just big AIM. I mean, it's a Nebu map, right? You already know what you're getting into there. What did Yokespy just type?
We are sorry. Another map where you look at the dogbreaking roster, you go, wait, this is a Misha map, and Misha is not here. Question mark.
Yeah, that's back-to-back AIM picks from CATBALL that dogbreaking did not put Misha in for. And it's not like he's not here, because he literally just played Caramel Heaven. So I don't know if it's just maybe a comfort thing. Far be it from me to second guess anybody at this stage, but it is a little interesting. But we do get Nathan Ram back in, who we only saw back on the first map on Econai Borderline. Have not seen him on the 3 maps in between. We'll see what kind of asset he can be for this big traditional AIM pick. As away we go, and yeah, there's some just jumps, man. There's some jumps. Goodbye to all of CATBALL. Goodbye to Origin. Goodbye to Ahio and Yokespy. Nathan Ram out of the starting blocks. Maybe just a little better. Nope, just kidding. It's just Yokespy out of the starting blocks. Everybody else stumbled.
Hello, AIM. This is the one-player carry map of all time, right? We saw this in previous maps. It was Nope KJK with a 900 combo on this, which was, well, for all sorts of 1v3. There is some recoveries here on RNG Flames tier. The names that you expect, and you're hoping for some consistency outside of that first initial AIM pattern. As you look comparatively, dogbreaking has lost all their combos now, and we're a quarter in, so gonna be solid for CATBALL the longer this map goes on, because their AIM comfort lies more in consistency than raw AIM, as was seen with that No Mod 1.
Yeah, and these recoveries looking pretty good in terms of that AIM consistency, though right as I say that, it's 3 of the 4 members of CATBALL to break. RNG, I'm not too surprised to see him the one holding on. An interesting AIM style, a lot of curves in his AIM on these very triangular patterns, but it's working for him. And on the other side, you're starting to see some built-up combo, and it's starting to bring the gap back for dogbreaking, despite RNG having the best combo in the lobby by about 300. Now that he's gone, that's dire straits for CATBALL. Halfway through, you've got Yokespy, Origin, Ahio all on really solid recovery combo. Origin does break, but still Yokespy, Ahio, and look at the score gap. It's up over 1 million in favor of dogbreaking, despite the best efforts of RNG through the first half of the pick, because he wasn't getting any help from his team.
Yeah, and it's just the max combo for a lot of these players is going to be hovering around that 400 mark. Anything above 600, which Ahio has just broached, is going to be phenomenal. But here we go into our final big div spike section, and it's Pez versus Ahio for all sorts. Nathan Ram with some added recovery over RNG Twilight. But that Pez break going to be opening things up. It's just the Ahio show, and he has everyone on CATBALL covered. What a phenomenal showing from him as he tries to match the heroics of Nope KJK in that previous match. The rest of this one going to be leading into some more squares, but dog breaking with a second breakpoint in our first 5 maps is surely not the way CATBALL anticipated this way going. The aim has been a confusing decision in my eyes.
Yeah, I really don't know that I love the pure aim pick here. I'm just going to keep going back and sounding like a broken record, but I really think CATBALL need to just pick the Ethan maps. And, the raw mechanics here, this is actually going to end up being relatively close, but the raw mechanics not working out despite the best efforts of Pez into this ending. Actually, he's going to run out of time as there's a slider break. I think he would have run out of time anyway. Pez did manage to make that close as I was kind of ignoring the score gap coming down, but 2 million score or 20 million score, doesn't matter. It's a break point either way. And yeah, the 2 out of the first 3 picks for CATBALL not working out for them, and dog breaking just the better team performance. I mean, it wasn't any, the Ahio was the most important score, but you have solid backing score from Yokespy. It's just the smaller margins. Also, can we talk about how aesthetic that RNG score is? 8,030,000.
So many zeros. That's great. Phenomenal accuracy there too. Only 7 100s. You look at some of the top scores across the way. Add plus 10 to the AC. Almost 99 for RNG. Main aim specialist for CATBALL, but unfortunately not going to be the play for that HR1. As it's back to dog breaking and likely back to tapping. We were talking about the goofball Fremont 3 map. RNG saying it over and over in the chat, so surely he's a fan. As well as that HR3 still available. Noma 2 also a bit higher BPM, hovering around that 230 range, but you just have to wonder, which of these plethora of mechanics picks, where does dog breaking want to go next?
Yeah, and then the Nomad 2 is a little bit of a weird one too, right? Because it has kind of the awkward cuts and weird spacing changes and stuff, so that one's a little bit less straightforward. RNG is just baiting the Fremont 3 pick so hard here. But I mean, I feel like it's a good pick anyway, regardless of what anyone from CATBALL might say. I do feel like Fremont 3 is a good option for dog breaking, as is Garyotosa, the Hard Rock 3, or Tensei, excuse me, the Hard Rock 3, so either of those, fine. Worth noting also, we haven't really talked about DT1 is still there too. That's got a fair amount of tapping, and all right, I'm a genius. It's I know what map we forgot to talk about that's mechanics. It's that one.
And this makes sense given we had, what was that, 2 or 3 DT bands, the DT1 coming through now, significantly shorter than that DT4, but similar skill set wise, a little more aim focus than burst focus in comparison. I don't know. The DT4 was really close, and this is more volatile, so it's still somewhat coin flipping.
Yeah, I just think in general you're gonna see a decent amount of volatility on a decent, just a bunch of maps in this pool, and we've kind of seen that borne out anyway, right? 2 million score difference on Hard Rock 1, 4 million score difference on DT4, 11 million on a 4-minute long 4K max combo DT2. I think the players at this point appear to be willing to accept the volatility to pick into things that they feel are decent for them, even knowing that good for them also might mean good for your opponents. It's just saying, we think this might end up being close, but we still think we're going to win it.
Yeah, and roster's inbound. It's Ethan in for the DT1. I was expecting to see him in for that DT4, CATBALL taking a little break from the tapping maps here. Misha as well, hopping in alongside the usual tappers, Aheo, Amacetic, Maxim. Aheo actually having a phenomenal match so far, alongside Yokes for that dog breaking side. On both the aim and the tapping alike, just solid mechanics all around for him. Looking to keep up the hot streak. As we go into DT1, it's Amasetic taking the hidden for the first time in some mod switch-ups, and you're already seeing a little bit of consistency woes because of it. Big breaks from Misha and him early can be giving the advantage CATBALL.
Yeah, having the difficult intro into the slightly freer combo section here, at the 1/4 mark into that burst and such, really valuable for CATBALL to have held through, just building up a little bit of a lead. Misha and Amasetic both have settled down, right? They were able to build through that freer combo section, but now as you get back into the Ki, we'll see if that can continue, as there is a break from Ethan, but it's still a triple FC for CATBALL. Uh-oh, Flamesteer down. Now Pez and Toki, double FC. Oh, okay, there's breaks everywhere. It's Pez versus Ahio, and it's Pez to hold. No, he breaks as well, Amasetic.
Oh.
Now it's Amasetic's turn.
Welcome back, intercambing method. You miss early, you get the consistency and nerves out of the way, they FC the rest of the map. Amasetic, take a bow, you've done the job. Over 1 million score lead, and once again, slim margins, but dog breaking, so consistent, so overwhelming on these tapping mechanics picks. DT4, DT2, and now DT1, double time pool dominated by dog breaking.
Yeah, that's very, very impressive. They, we had the 2 DT bans, and they decided to go 3 straight DT picks and won all of them. You were talking earlier at the start about how good dog breaking has been throughout this tournament on the mechanics picks, especially the tapping stuff, and they're really showing that off here in this match as well, that they're not going to be slowed down by the late stage difficulty scaling of this pool. They're just going to keep up what they've been doing so well for so long. And what's crazy about this is, despite the length of this match, right? It's best of 15, first to 8. They're 5 points in, 3 picks in, and they still have at least 2, maybe 3 picks in this skill set.
Yeah. And that's like some of the trouble of like Hippo Cup pools being so vast. Like it can really come down to the band stage sometimes, and CATBALL, it's just getting overwhelmed by the mechanic roster of dog breaking with the HR1 breakpoint. You could consider all of the raw aim there to be in favor. And CATBALL really just needs to start picking into this gimmick, man. We have barely touched, we've touched both edges of the Nomad pool. We've gone into Nomad 1, Nomad 8. Everything in the middle, maybe barring Nomad 2, is going to be really solid for CATBALL here. As well as this free mod. Free mod's untouched, period.
Yeah, I'm honestly considering these 2 teams. I'm very surprised that we have not seen a single free mod ban or pick. And finally, we will go back into the Nomads, and we're gonna see a Nomad 7, which isn't even really a gimmick pick. I would have expected like a Nomad 3 or a Nomad 4 or a Nomad 6. We're just again picking something that's kind of aimey, right? Like, I don't feel that this sufficiently moves the needle for me in terms of skill set requirement.
Yeah, I mean, at this BPM, I guess you can, like, sort of call it low BPM alt, like, but for all intents and purposes, it is just really aimey. On the plus side, we've been talking about, like, get Ethan tricks in, and this is, you get the best of both worlds, right? You get Pez, you get RNG, you get Flamesteer, and you get Ethan. That is the core 4 for CATBALL. That is the winning method for CATBALL, and I think with that roster, with this style of sort of awkward snap all, should be a relatively decent play here. But again, I don't know what the question mark is with some of the reading and gimmick in this pool. I expected CATBALL to be really all over it.
Yeah, I fully expected, free mod 1, free mod 4, Nomad 3, Nomad 4, Nomad 6, like that sort of stuff. That was really what I anticipated their approach to this match to be. And that's just been proven completely inaccurate. Man. And, at what point in the match does it just feel like we're playing for pride, right? I mean, it's 5-1. Yes, it's first to 8, so there's still plenty of time. It's not like it's over, but it hasn't felt like CATBALL have really ever been in the match properly. It's like, at what juncture do you just say, we're going with something completely and utterly different because we need to at least try to throw in a curveball? I don't know.
Yeah, so with that, interesting roster changes for this pick. No Yoke Spy this time around. He played both Nomad 1 and Hard Rock 1, one of those standout scores on the Hard Rock 1. Shows to maybe the different style of aim presented here. A handful of snap and maybe rhythm adjacent patterning for this pick as well. But really slow intro. It's really going to ramp up at about the 250 to 200 combo mark. And here we go with those linear wiggles. It's the positioning of the geometrical patterns in this map that's really going to strike some people out in Origin with a very early break. Going to be giving CATBALL some leniency here.
And that's something that CATBALL has really not had much of throughout this match. It's been very rare, it feels like, for them to have, any sort of notable leads. It's a trade from RNG and Origin. That is worse for CATBALL, though. That is one of their 4 FCs gone, whereas Origin, of course, had already broken. But we'll see what they can maintain here. It's a 700k score gap, which is practically meaningless, especially this is 3.5 minutes long. There goes Nathan Ram. Slides that door just a little bit wider open for CATBALL to try and make a more comfortable lead for themselves, which is now going to be about 2 million score. There goes GNX on that wiggle across the screen. Yeah, some of the patterns in this are really bizarre. There goes Ahio as well. And now it is all 4 FCs gone for dog breaking, 3 still intact for CATBALL, so maybe this is... maybe we're finding out why this was the pick here. Even though it is within that semi-aim skill set, it's a more awkward aim, and it's the type of aim that they are clearly looking pretty darn strong on, even with the break from Ethan there.
Yeah, Flames and Pez holding on to the Nomad line. RNG with this recovery on the hidden. Dog breaking are just swamped here, right? I mean, even one of the FCs from either Flames or Pez has all the combos on dog breaking covered right now. Oh, double the score at the current moment, especially with that Ahio break. It's 16 mil on their end, 33 and growing for CATBALL. And this is what they needed. This was the momentum shift that CATBALL needed to get into this match. And I would like to see more picks like it. There's plenty of other snap and control-y picks remaining in the Nomad and Fremod pools. Gonna be quite a comeback to get started from, but momentum shifts are important in this kind of thing. And my eyes are fully glued to that right side of the screen. Peasant Flames 2 still holding on to the double FC with just moments to go.
These are very, very impressive scores from both of those members, and they've gotten good support as well from RNG and Ethan. But putting up this kind of performance and saying, we are still capable of great things on this pool. We are still capable of putting up really solid scores. Good for your own mentality. And, try to get some confidence for the rest of the match. As we do see the late breaks, unfortunately, not going to be any FCs. This ending has some more crazy patterning in it with those really awkward, wide-angle, kind of semi-linear jumps. But that's job done for CATBALL in a really resounding fashion. This is one of the biggest score gap we've seen in this match. I mean, 65 million to 32 million. Like, that's a huge, huge win for them, and that's something that they really, really needed after dropping 3 maps in a row. Obviously those 3 only included 1 break, but still, you got to get something going at some point, and that might just be the way they do it. Problem is, as we discussed after the last map, dog breaking still have several of those tapping mechanics picks that they can opt into. So CATBALL still need to consider the fact that they're going to need to get a couple break points back, and they're going to be on maps that aren't necessarily favored toward them.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, right? With CATBALL really seemingly wanting the goofball pick, it seems like a bit of an inevitability at this point. That sort of bodes itself to like a map Ethan Trix is able to play with the density and with the sort of awkward patterning in between bursts of that map. I think the play for dog breaking, I would prefer to see the HR3 first, because I just don't think Ethan is in on it. I think they run probably stupid dog fourth player for Hard Rock streams, which is going to be really beneficial for dog breaking, as Misha's finally going to be able to get one of those comfortable maps in that you really know him for, is like Hard Rock comfort, especially on Hidden Hard Rock. So dog breaking, plenty of options, but I do think HR3 probably the best of both worlds.
I'm down. I'm down for the HR3. I think I can concur with that judgment. It just feels like of the remaining tapping picks, a relatively safe one for them to go into. Because I don't think oh, okay.
Oh,
Nomad 2 instead. Well, it's still CS5. It's still slightly smaller circles than normal. But it's not with Hard Rock. This one's interesting because it's a little bit faster than Hard Rock 3, 227 BPM this Nomad 2 versus the 200 of the Hard Rock 3, which keeps it, kind of in line with the DT2 that was 225. A little bit slower, obviously, than the DT4 or the Free Mod 3, but in what should still be a comfort zone, I think, for the tapping players of dog breaking. And you guess they just feel comfortable with kind of the slightly more awkward aims requirement of this particular tapping pick compared to the others.
The stat line is interesting here, right? Because the Air 10 OD10 CS5, but for all intents and purposes, it's a CS 3.8 Hard Rock map. Like, you just throw HR on that, and the tapping rosters are going to be similar. My question becomes the flow control elements of this map. The bursts are a little shorter here, the flow control is high, and that's going to lend itself to the players on CATBALL just a little more, I think. And since there's less stamina in this one in comparison to some of the other tapping picks we've seen. So, with that being said, it is similar rosters to what was presented in that DT4, DT1 combo. Aheo, Amacetic, Origin, Misha, and Core 4 for CATBALL. Gonna be Ethan Trix staying in over BATBALL for this one on this Nomad 2.
And we've discussed and we've seen time and time again these mechanics picks winding up very contested. They do not have a whole ton of separation between these teams on these maps, so you gotta wonder if sooner or later dog breaking may return to that well just one too many times and find it dry, with CATBALL perhaps able to steal away a break on a skill set that thus far dog breaking have really dominated. Watch for the control flow aim elements of this pick. I do think, as you said, that's going to be kind of a determining factor, is where the comfort looks level lies on that aspect of the pick. And so we watch and we wait, because it really takes a little bit to kick up through the aimier intro before you get into these kind of tricky finger control tapping and flow aim control elements. But there goes Ethan. That was kind of the concern, right? You have Ethan in on a tapping map in a super late stage, not his primary skill set, and especially with Toki falling, that's going to be a big advantage early for dog breaking. Does their range just continue on tapping? It sure seems like it might.
Yeah, they're looking very confident here. Actually, the higher accuracies than they've had on any tapping map so far. It's Amacetic on the 99.8 1/100 so far at this halfway point. First drop for the dog breaking side, however, on Aheo, but still 3-2. You need at least 2 more of those FCs to fall, but there is comeback potential for Flames and Pez, who have been having really solid scores on all these mechanics maps. They've been the ones keeping it in line for CATBALL on any of these picks, keeping them within close margins. And there's a full squad wipe for dog breaking. Wait just a minute, it's only a 4 million score difference, and there's a third of the map remaining. And at the break, Flames and Pez, they see what they have to do now. They have to hold for the rest of this one. And just a few moments remaining. Will there be enough combo density? That is almost not even a question. It is can these two players hold on to their mettle, hold on to their nerve for the remaining moments of this map? And there's the score flicker nearly immediately with the XL flow, with the wiggles represented. It's Pez with a slider break of all things. Flames to match it eventually, but not before creating this 4 million buffer. CATBALL, that's the momentum shift they needed. That's the breakpoint they needed. And that is the well running dry for dog breaking on some of these mechanics maps.
You wondered sooner or later CATBALL was going to figure out the puzzle that was dog breaking on tapping mechanics, and it has now occurred. We finally have a CATBALL break point back. Now they do still need to get another one, but it's a start and it's momentum. It's 2 maps in a row for them for the first time in this match. It's bringing the score from 5-1 back to 5-3. And I think CATBALL, maybe after the way the Nomad 7 went, maybe they have, some maps in mind that they can go into after to follow up. There's a lot of ways in which the small advantages that you gain from different aspects of match strategy, a lot of small ways that you can pick those up, and they've found a few of them all in a quick fashion here with those 2 wins on the Nomad 7 and Nomad 2. They've got the free mod still available. We've talked about those ad nauseum at this point. It feels like something like that free mod 4, something like maybe even the free mod 1 if you want to risk that. And now they've even got the knowledge that, hey, if they choose to go into the Hard Rock 3, if they choose to go into the Free Mod 3, those might now feel a little more winnable.
Yeah, and if you're dog breaking here, you have to consider maybe a switch up, right? Because that Free Mod 3 is still a little dicey, and every tapping map to this point has been closely contested. I would probably lean Hard Rocks for them in the future, maybe, but for CATBALL, with remaining polls, it's gotta be a no-mod or free mod. We just have to see maybe something like the rhythm of a no-mod 4 or some of the tech elements of that no-mod 3, but they're going to run for the free mod 2 instead. And this is going to be pretty curious. I mean, it's old map styling, and CATBALL loves their old maps, so but it's more aim, right? Like, they love their aim in this match, seemingly.
Yeah, and this is a little more of a traditional aim. If you're comparing it, it's not a perfect comparison. It's more similar to the Hard Rock 1 than it is similar to the Nomad 1 or the Nomad 7. Yes, it's older style, but it's still like practically like screen jumps, right? I mean, it's Snow Note. It's another one where like you hear the mapper's name and I think you kind of know what's coming a little bit. Nomad 1 worked for them, Nomad 7 worked for them, Hard Rock 1 did not work for them. So it's interesting to think about aim as a skill set in this match with what we've seen kind of in the rear view in mind, but the way that the Nomad 7 went and how big a victory that was for CATBALL, I can see why you'd feel like rejuvenated in the aim skill set and willing to opt further into it.
Yeah. And this is a little closer to that Nomad 7 in stats, right? Like similar AR, just 0.2 off the CS, like who cares about any of that? But it's the BPM as well. It's both Nomad 1, Nomad 7, both above that 220 BPM mark. HR1 notably a little bit of a step down in the BPM and way up in the spacing. So a little bit of a return to form. Maybe they're just preferential to this higher BPM aim, especially with players in the lobby now. RNG, Flames, Pez, Ethan. I think they probably run like just a double hidden on RNG Ethan and don't risk those HR combos because Flames and Pez can be so consistent on this.
We're going to find out. It's the GLHFs coming in chat, and we talk about returning to wells, and we talk about whether or not those wells may still contain water in their depths, and I know it's becoming a tired metaphor, but when you keep picking from the same skill set, I'm sorry, it's the metaphor I'm going to keep making. CATBALL, though, it's a little bit of a mixed result, whereas dogbreaking, it had been, just 100% win rate with their particular well. So, maybe it's just different per team. And we've got, in the Bible, was it Miriam who had the well that in the desert? Maybe one team has that in their favor. But in we go. That stream has funny effects on accuracy. 61% on GNX, 81 on IEO, 80-something on RNG. And then we go right into the aim, and you start to see a couple misses immediately with Flamesteer, Pez, and GNX to all fall.
Yeah, no hard rocks here makes plenty of sense. It is free mod, but no hard rock requirement for this one. Combos early, 3 FCs to actually make it 2 FCs to 2 on RNG and Ethan. Both of the modded players is going to help things out, but a little bit uncharacteristically here, it's Pez and Flamesteer with these pretty consistent breaks early on to give dogbreaking the score advantage. But plenty of map to go here. Haven't even come close to nailing some of these div spikes in the map that are to come.
And now you get into kind of these big ki jumps, which are relatively straightforward, but still will cause some trouble. Misha Awa, Pez trading. RNG goes down. Not what you want to see happening for CATBALL's side. It's Ethan holding on to their lone FC, but it is Ahio and Origin with the double FC for dogbreaking. GNX backing them up as well. Just the early miss for him. And that will be very, very good for dogbreaking, who can now build out a couple million score lead, especially with a little bit of an easier slow section here. Just free combo. And then you go into this death stream kind of pattern, a couple of big flow streams here, and it's going to be a bunch of breaks. Oh. It's a triple reset for dogbreaking, but not really anything gained by CATBALL, as the only member was Pez to get through, and he breaks right after. It's a full lobby reset, and that is advantage dogbreaking even more.
Yeah, and honestly, I missed it in the first half of this map. I'm shocked to see the preference HR from Pez here when, like, RNG is not bad at hidden. I feel like it would have been a little simpler to run the RNG hidden, but it just has inconsistencies coming through. I mean, it's all above 3 million score on bulk of the players in the lobby, minus Pez with the hard rock, and the hard rock just adds so much density and difficulty to this pick. Oh, that is absurd. But
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Pez just hit that with hard rock. Oh,
dogbreaking with another breakpoint on the mechanics. I mean, that is just so unfortunate. I'm so unsure of the reluctance to pick the gimmick here.
Yeah, especially after winning the Nomad 7 pick, to go into the Free Mod 2 after seems peculiar after losing the Hard Rock 1, especially, which, again, like, it's not a perfect comparison, but it's a little more similar. Yeah, the pick strategy from CATBALL is a little bit confusing to me, really, over this match in general, outside of the Nomad 7 and Nomad 1. And again, dogbreaking give up the break point and just get it right back. 2 points from the finish line now. And now the question marks kind of do start to come in a little, as some of those really favored maps have all been picked. You do still have, we've talked about it ad nauseum, we do still have the Hard Rock 3, do still have the Free Mod 3 if dogbreaking want to continue picking nothing but tapping. But after the way the Nomad 2 went, it feels like maybe the time has come to switch it up just a little bit. And the question there would be, where would they switch it up to if that's to be the case?
Yeah, I think based on previous, I mean, I would have said that Free Mod 2, honestly. Like, if dogbreaking were to switch it up, that would have been not such a bad map for them. But maybe something like the HR2 going into the low BPM alts in that Hard Rock pool, I just think, like, forcing Ethan to go on to HR or forcing them to make the roster swap there is such a boon to the dogbreaking side. But based on the weight here, it does, and based on the players in the lobby as well, actually, it does seem like the HR3, yeah.
Yep, yeah, that was gonna happen. So this is really crazy that dogbreaking are, like, either they win this and win CATBALL's pick, or they win this, lose CATBALL's pick, win their own pick. They're either 1 or 2 picks away from feasibly playing an entire best of 15, picking literally one skill set and one skill set only. Like, that's actually insane to me, right? That they're gonna win 8 maps. There's a world where they win 8 maps and they pick literally nothing but tapping. I didn't feel like this pool was kind of balanced in that way when looking at it, but it kind of has worked out that way in practice. If you contain yourself to 5 picks or fewer, maybe 6 picks or fewer from your own team. But this is pretty straightforward as far as tapping in this pool goes. It's kind of a bit of an opposition to Nomad 2, which has the awkward flow control requirement. This is much more straightforward.
Yeah, this is about as comfortable as you're going to get in this pool, really. Even something like the DT4, DT1, you have like some volatility issues. But this one, it's just 2 minutes of 200 BPM flowing. There is a lot more flow in the top half of the map. The second half sort of leans towards stamina. But given rosters in right now, it's core 4 for CATBALL. Tricks in that 4th spot. Aheo, Nathan Ram, Misha, and Maxim for this one. So no Amacetic here because of the lower BPM, I would presume. Going to be more of a flow-focused roster for dog breaking as they try to secure match point.
Yeah, and this is big. CATBALL did get that break point on the Nomad 2. But now they need to do it again to avoid facing a set of 4 match points just to force a tiebreak. So we'll see if they can pull themselves together. Gonna need a lot of really good performances if they want to make it back into this match. Early breaks there, traded by Nathan Ram and Ethan. But you can see the build into some of that early flow coming, and another miss from Ethan. Not what you want if you're a CATBALL supporter. It's going to give that lead just ever so slightly over to dog breaking. As you mentioned, the real flow requirement in the early stages. Pretty wide curved streams, especially with that hard rock spacing coming into effect. And there goes Ethan again, really struggling on this pick.
Yeah, this recovery from Nathan Ram is free game so far as everyone holds on to their FCs. That big spaced Quint, though, an equalizer, unfortunately not for CATBALL. Flames to find that second drop. It's 2 FCs to 2 now on Maxim and Aheo. We have seen heroics from Pez and RNG before. Maxim, Aheo doing their best to match it. We do have this stamina coming through at the ending. And what 2 players to hold on to a stamina section than the 2 tapping players who have played every pick that dog breaking has played so far, right? It's Maxim and Aheo again. And unfortunately for RNG and Pez here, it seems a bit indomitable. RNG breaks first, Maxim to follow it up. The recovery combo from Misha and Nathan is going to be enough in the face of both of those FCs falling. It's Flames with 400 combo. Wait a minute. 93% ACK, it's close.
Flames here trying to bring this back, and there he goes. That would have been really close. I don't know if there would have been enough, but it would have been really, really close. Unfortunately, it is all for naught. Man, and that's dog breaking. They just had the combos when they needed them, right? It feels like they just were out in front like the whole way through. One player from CATBALL fell, dog breaking had all of their combos. 2 players, 1 player from dog breaking fell, 2 players from CATBALL fell. Like, it was just always that little bit of a lead almost the entire way through until the very ending. Flames tier almost made that really, really fascinating, but not quite enough. And dog breaking, man, they are just indomitable on these tapping picks. As you said, you have these players who have been in, who are testing their stamina, not just within any one map, but over the course of the entire match, where we have now played 10 maps. And they've just been in over and over and over again for all these tapping picks and have continuously played so well in them. And now it's 7-3 match points the rest of the way. CATBALL need to win 4 maps in a row just to force tiebreaker. And that's looking like it's looking like a tall order.
Yeah, this this is such a weird match so far, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's a weird match.
It is.
Like it's just pick wise, like it's just not going the way you expect. For dog breaking at least, it's exactly as anticipated. They've played pretty much every mechanics map in the pool. They are the mechanics team, and then they go into HR5 over Goofball, which you look at all the scores in the lobby from that last pick. You saw the Hard Rock Comfort on Ethan, and you certainly raised some question mark flags. Keep playing the AR-10 as console. Oh wait, no, this is CATBALL.
This is CATBALL pick.
Wait,
Yeah.
huh? Oh, maybe not then. Okay, well this is like as variety of an HR pick as you're going to get. But again, I'm still shocked to see them go into Hard Rock pools instead of the none free mod maps picked other than free mod 2.
Yeah, with free mod 1, free mod 4 on the table, with free mod 5, which is the type of map that you see teams picking in Hippo Cup when they're at this stage of a match, right? Like you're down and nearly out and might as well pick the complete coin flip 10-second long map. With those all on the table to go into the Hard Rock pool again is a little bit interesting, but I kind of get the approach here to some degree because this is a little bit more of a varied type of map. It's got a lot of different stuff on offer, whether it's, kind of that snappy alt, whether it's a little bit of tapping, whether it's, some kind of linear patterns, whether it's tech. Like, this has a lot going on. It is a little bit of a departure. At least it's not like just raw aim, I guess, because I think we would probably like find their captain's home and show up with picket signs saying, "What are we doing here?" So maybe, just maybe, this is the one.
That is a crazy visual, like a strike. And all the signs
down with Flames tier, can't pick right, bad strategy, new captain needed. Not gonna be required. Not gonna be required.
Yeah, this pick seems a lot more in line with what CATBALL is known for. They like the control, they like the Hard Rocks for a bulk of their core, right? RNG, Pez, Flames tier, very phenomenal on these Hard Rock kind of maps. Ethan just fine when he has that hidden alongside it, but an unfortunate start here for Flames tier, finding some inconsistencies in the rhythms and BPM changes. Nathan Ram to match it. Ethan Tricks, though, drops the FC. It's RNG and Pez to hold the main combos for dog breaking, and it's just dog breaking, always one step ahead. They have match point. They win this one. This is game over for winner's bracket. They are confirmed a top 2, and right now they are primed and in position to do so, given these inconsistencies. RNG to drop the final FC remaining. CATBALL, it is just the Pez recovery 1 quarter in, and it's a full running away with dog breaking. Triple FC.
This is... to, say whatever about CATBALL at this stage on this particular map, this is a really impressive team score through the first third from dog breaking. It's a triple FC, as mentioned. Amasetic, Misha Awa, Ahio all still holding. Nathan Ram on the solid recovery. Like, there's not a lot you can do about this regardless. A triple FC is just going to be very hard to stand up to. And, that's, like you said, it's one step ahead from dog breaking pretty much almost this entire match. They just have extra combo, somebody somewhere. That is a double break, though, and that opens things up just a little bit with Amasetic, Misha Awa to fall, as CATBALL have managed to build up some support, some recovery combo coming in. You've got the big combo on Pez, and then Ethan, and then Flames and RNG, all on some combo, but they've got 10 million score to try to bring back and a third of the map to do it in. With Nathan Ram falling, it's getting realistic, but still hard.
Yeah, Ahio has been having the match of a lifetime, right? He's been top scoring a number of the tapping maps. He's been phenomenal on the Hard Rock aim. He's known mostly as a Hard Rock specialist, but unfortunately not to be the case this time out. Ethan Tricks trades it, but that's significantly less combo. And this score lead is shrinking rapidly. That triple break from dog breaking not going to be helping things. It's the dynamic duo once more. Flames and Pez, top 2 combos in the lobby with massive comeback potential. After a couple early game hiccups, Pez on the 1200 and growing. That bus slider only going to be bolstering things, as there's just maybe 30 seconds of map remaining. in a must-hold position for Flames and Pez. And Pez breaks!
Pez falling is doomsday scenario for CATBALL. Even with Flamesteer holding, you've got recovery combo on Amacetic, Nathan Ram, Misha Awa, like all 4 members is back in combo on Ethan and RNG, so it's just going to be whether or not Flames has enough combo to offset it, and I think the answer might unfortunately end up being no, but there go Nathan Ram and Ahio. Wait a second. Into the last moments, it doesn't go over by 13,000. You have got to be kidding me. By 13K, Dog Breaking managed to somehow hold on in the last second. I don't know how that didn't go over. It's tragic for CATBALL. What a way for the match to end.
That is unreal. And it just came down to the team performance of Dog Breaking. They held on such a long time in that intro. Unfortunately, no one man's heroics can do the job. CATBALL with a phenomenal effort here, but what a play from Dog Breaking on that HR5 to close it out. Just 13K difference. And, I mean, I'm sure CATBALL will be back stronger than ever after in the losers bracket, but, like, this is just unreal. Like, what an overall team performance. What a showing from Dog Breaking on this finals pool.
Yeah, you really do have to hand it to Dog Breaking for their performance in this match. And I think it's really easy to hand wave this as a pool that was just balanced more in their favor because they picked literally basically the same skill set for all 5 of their picks in the match. But fact remains that they won 4 of those 5 in addition to taking what, 3 break points? So, or 4 break points? Either way, you know, they did their job on their own picks, but they also did their job on their opponent's picks. So, all credit to Dog Breaking. And I will say I think I anticipated this being a little bit more of a back and forth competitive match, but Dog Breaking just showed what they're capable of. Their late round scaling looked so strong on this. CATBALL is going to kind of have to return to the drawing board a little bit for the grand finals week. Fall down to losers bracket. They really did kind of stomp, unfortunately, the Irishman last week in semis. So, you know, they'll get that matchup again and see if they can do the same thing to get to grands. And then the big question, of course, in grands will be, how do you fight against a team who just beat you 8-3 in, you know, pretty, you know, dominant fashion?
Yeah, the mental there is definitely going to be a little different as we await those grand finals matches, but okay, these players want to play goofball. We do have a beat here. I assume Map Pool Showcase inbound after this.
Map Pool Showcase
Whoa.
inbound,
Oh,
guys.
God,
Are we gonna stream this goofball showcase or like what's going
I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't know. Why not?
on? Okay, Map Pool after goofball.
We were waiting for goofball for the entire match, so we might as well see what would have happened if it got played, assuming they put in like the right rosters, which they probably
Right,
won't.
lock in, guys. Lock in.
Yoke size here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
Wait,
say.
it's Yoke Spy versus all of CATBALL.
Okay, maybe we're maybe we are we. Man. Well, we'll see what happens. We get a couple minutes to see. See a CATBALL Irishman losers bracket final. Winner to face off against Dog Breaking grand final. That's the long and short of it. Do you want to shout out from this weekend? We had a couple of very competitive matches so far this week, right? We had the 8-5 with Z10A D-Rank Tax over Funia Marake. We had the tiebreaker ridiculousness, Irishman winning over Hippo Cup GIF. And then earlier today, we had Irishman winning against Z10A in the resulting potential match. So, like, I think this weekend did manage to make up for a lot of the less competitive weeks of this tournament we've kind of been stuck seeing by giving us some really, really good matches. And even this one, like, it was at a high level. Even though it was 8-3, it was at a very high level of play.
Yeah, I'm looking through because I just wanted to confirm the number. Yeah, it's 3 tiebreakers for the Irishmen throughout this tournament. I want to give a shout out to them because they have kept the competitive spirit alive because they are very good at what they do. Like, so every match they play in gets close and down to the wire, and they had a tiebreaker and a 6A. They almost played 2 TBs in our finals weekend, which would have been phenomenal. But yeah, what a tournament this has been. Of course, Hippo Cup always delivering in the entertainment factor.
Yo, but can we talk about this Ethan Tricks combo right now? Like, what is going on?
This
Maybe
is
it's-
1,000,000,000% why they wanted them to pick this.
Yeah.
Like, Ethan could play this map.
Yeah, and man, I'm still just going back to the whole pick strategy side of things because, like,
Yeah.
why did we never pick free mod 1 or free mod 4, guys? Why did we not pick, like, no mod 3, no mod 4, no mod 6? Like, I don't know. The obsession with picking aim is kind of confusing to me still after they lost free mod 2, they lost Hard Rock 1. Like, not sure. Lost Hard Rock 5, which is a more varied map, but still, like, I feel like there were other options, so I'll be interested to see the Grand's pool and to see what their strategy might be. With respect to Irishmen, I do kind of just expect the Grand Finals to be the 3rd matchup between these 2 teams because CATBALL just absolutely dominated Irishmen in their head-to-head previously.
Ethan Tricks with the full combo.
Yeah, I'm
Ethan Tricks, will
frankly
he close it out
not watching it all.
for
Sorry.
his team?
I did not watch more than about 3 seconds of that map, I'm not going to lie. But
Let's
shout
go,
out to Ethan.
I'm proud of you.
Shout
I'm
out
proud
to
of you.
Ethan for the
Ethan.
1v4
What a guy.
against, players from both teams on the other side, including Yolks Pie. Ayo, why you ain't pick it? Okay, but what if
I
don't
think
know.
we've exemplified why they didn't pick it.
Yeah.
Point made. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this match. Pool showcase now.
Yeah, pool showcasing very soon. Congratulations, dog breaking. Best of luck to both these teams in grand finals next week. We will be back in literally seconds after I stop streaming and Habib starts streaming. So stick around for Map Pool Showcase. Thank you, Hubba commentating. Thank you, Ellen Reffing, and we will see you guys in just a minute.